I had to hit a button.
Did we push all the buttons?
I think I pushed all the buttons this time. Hey, I just heard myself. That's a problem. Yep. We are now live.
Hooray!
I'm sorry. I don't know how to YouTube.
We don't do it often anymore.
They updated it, and now you have to go live in StreamYard, then go over to YouTube once you've made the connection, then go live in YouTube. These tubes are making it difficult. But it happens.
It happens. We got to figure it out.
I mean, what are you going to do? All right, we're going to push that button, though, because we're going to make that happen for the night for a while.
That's a good button.
Yeah. Oh, and I think I lost the chat. There's the chat.
I have chat.
You got a Viking.
A Viking.
A Mr. Fish. We had a Thanith. We got a Nando's. And
way up there at the top
Hmm.
was a Jake from State Farm.
A Matt from Jake from State Farm. Oh, that guy. What a great guy. Oh, how you doing?
Well, I'm not half a millimeter off, but
I am. And this is like the greatest inside-outside joke you're ever going to find.
Yep.
I guess the first order of business, because the goal with this, we're going to do a multiple part stream here. We're going to build for a bit. We are not running past 2 hours in length because we want to go hang out and watch Joel's stream.
And let's be fair, we want to try to win some stuff for ourselves too.
I could use more stuff. We also want to do this one all the way through. So because this one is now a full-fledged don't do it yourself, it is all in the box kit. Everything is going to be shown on this one. Everything. Just for you, Duff. All the wires, the nuts, the bolts, the frames, printed parts. The only thing you're not going to watch is the printing, although the Wham Bam Hotbox is currently holding the MK3, which is printing some parts. I don't know if those will be done in time or not, but I may not use them.
We know what printing looks like.
We know what printing looks like. That's right, all of that, and there's all of this. What we don't know is this.
Oh, look at that.
This is almost every single part we need for this printer. All nicely laid out. Now, everything is printed in Sparta Sparkle ABS Plus.
Oh, there's the Sparkle.
There's the Sparkle. And actually, since we're talking about it, I'm going to turn on an extra light. So that means camera jiggle. Sorry. I'm not very professional. It's almost Christmas. You have to forgive me. I'm sorry, Internet, if I let you down. We'll always have the memes. All right. So I took the liberty of MMUing the front panel.
Looks pretty good.
This sparkle stuff, man. Oh my. It is incredible.
The color combination, that teal and ivory.
Yeah, this is not natural or white. This is ivory. Again, ivory glitter. It's so good. And I mean, the first step really is to put it all away. As much as it's nice right here, this is also the build surface. So we're gonna put it all away. This, by the way, have I shown you this one before, Bob?
I don't think I've seen that one.
So this is my Nozzle torque wrench that I got shockingly at Sparta.
A little strong, isn't it?
It's a little bit beefy, but I don't find that it causes any problems. I don't get any stripping or anything like that. And it scares the pants off you, though, when you go to put it on and it goes ka-chunk. And then you're like, okay, I'm there. That's good. But it's good. I'm just going to put these away. So I'm going to mute myself for a second.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, the plastic bin sounds. It almost got away.
Just a few parts. Just a few. Now, one thing I do know is I'm going to need a few parts kind of right off the bat here. Because this is not our first rodeo.
We have seen the V0 build. This being the 0.1, I believe.
0.1 LDO full kit. And now we're left with this. This is...
Big empty space for activities.
Yeah, look at all the space for activities. That is a very orange application. Sergio! How's it going, sir? Oh, actually.
Uh-oh.
I'm so out of focus here. Like, this is not... No, this is very much like me, let's be honest.
Oof.
We got a box.
That's a big box.
We got a box of Voron stuff. This...
Ooh, the box of Voron.
So this is the full kit as it would come. The box is measuring 22 inches by 8.5 high by 12 inches deep. So
measuring in the freedom units.
Yeah, freedom units. Not a gigantic box, but it's well packed. Now, our friend Joe over at Sparta3D always likes to throw in a few goodies. Check out the new mascot. That's delightful. Yeah. These are some really nice stickers. So a lot of stickers are coming with the new stuff. Keep your eyes open for that. Because I'm a star, apparently I got a rusty star. He also likes to include, and this is not with just my order, with just like almost any order, there is usually always some sort of extra something in the box.
There's the randomness.
It's awesome. So in this situation, we've got some Allen keys that he's included. Very handy to have more Allen keys. I mean, you can never have too many. And this little guy. This is a sweet little parts organizer.
That is nice.
It's radioactive orange. I don't know if that's coming across on the camera, but it's
the best oranges are.
It's delightful. It really reminds me of one I used to have from DeWalt years ago, and these little bits come out, and then you can put screwdrivers and screw bits and stuff like that. I had a bunch of drill bits and stuff, but that's going to probably come in handy during this build for small nuts and bolts or something.
Yeah, set that one aside and leave it open so you can start putting hardware in it.
Yeah, well, we'll get there. We will get. Oh, geez, where am I going to put it? Okay. The star of the show is this small contraption, which is a frame kit.
Tiny little box for a printer frame.
Tiny little box for a printer frame. We're going to put it off to the side right now. Now we've got a couple other sub boxes. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just drop this big one back down. And we'll just kind of go through some of these sub boxes real quick so you can just kind of get an idea of how these new kits are coming. Now, Not all of the LDO kits are going to come like this. This is something that Joseph had asked to have done based on the way he wants to be able to ship things and his customer feedback. So I think it's a bit more polished than you're going to see out of a kit coming from
Other suppliers.
Other suppliers such as Printed Solid, Lector, Caribou. I think it has them as well. There's a few vendors all across the world, and we'll put the links up to them as we go. This I've already opened, of course. This is the LDO mechanical parts kit.
That's nice.
Yeah, so in here we have all the fun stuff. There's a little wire thing, some instruction papers, some stickers. We know we love stickers. We got a Voron sticker, it looks like, and an LDO Motors sticker. Always helpful. So there's also fasteners, tools. There's the linear rails. We're going to need those. Tool head and motion system. That's a box that's in there. The hot end of choice for today, the Fadis Dragonfly. And they've changed the sock. It's not neon orange anymore.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
I'm not sure either. We've got the build plate, and for those who have not seen, this is by far one of the coolest things I love about this printer. And one thing about this kit versus when we built it last time, they have taken and added the thermal fuse for us, applied the heated pad, along with, factory...
That looks beefy.
Factory applied RTV silicone. The plate itself is a chunky monkey. Like that is a thickness. Things are just falling all over. This is 7 or 8 millimeters, 8 millimeters thick. Considering the print surface is 120 by 120 by 120, an 8 millimeter thick bed, that's a substantial thing.
So,
then also, this is the build plate, and it is just adorable. But it comes with the texture and the PEI.
And how are we going to attach that to the build plate?
It's a magnetic build plate system.
And there's your magnet.
Yeah, so we got to add the magnet to it. But I just think having that factory applied RTV on there that's huge. That's going to eliminate a lot of people's concerns. Now, the bigger difference too with the V0 to the V0.1 kit, I'll try to call out as many differences that I know as we go. If anyone in the chat is more familiar with it, please interrupt. One of the biggest differences is this is no longer a 120 volt bed. This is a 24 volt bed. So it is no longer considered dangerous by some. A lot of people have some apprehensions when it comes to the 120 plates. That's actually the biggest reason why the thermal fuse is on there. So that if the bed sticker loses adhesion, then it does not kick the printer into a massive thermal runaway with 120 volts just feeding it power.
Okay.
That's a big difference. Other big difference is going to be in this box right here, where we are talking about a tool head that is now using... the motor's not in there. It's using a direct drive tool head.
Okay.
As opposed to the Bowden setup that we had before. But I don't think we need much out of this box for right now. So
probably for a little while.
I'm just going to shove some stuff back into the big box here, and then we'll move on to the next box. Because we all love going through the boxes and seeing what's up. It's like Christmas, and it's almost Christmas. We also have motor kit. Oh, that's some glare.
Yeah, that's going to happen when you got the overhead lights.
V0.1 motor kit made with love by LDO.
I do like how they spell out exactly what's in the box right there on the front.
Yeah, and this is
one of these, two of these.
This is the V0 kits, and here's the thing with, again, the LDO kit is everything is included. There's the palm nut, the JST connectors you're going to need, motors. One of the motors that we're dealing with on this particular kit is a teeny tiny motor for the tool head, and I'll show you that in just a second after I give you all nausea. Let's see, a little bit closer. Look at this guy.
That's tiny.
Oh man, is it tiny. It is like the cutest little gear that's going on here. Oh. All right, we're being invaded. Good times. And the next change from the V0 to the 0.1 kit is now the AB motors are a chunkier monkey.
Holy shnikes.
Yeah, these are a beefier. It's still a NEMA 14, but it is it's a big one. They've increased those because what they were finding is that guys are running these things at high rates of speed because it's so small and rigid. They can run it really fast, and they were getting some problems with motor currents. So changing the stepper gave it a little more push. I think it's a good idea. Now this box is the electronics box. This is going to contain
all of the electronical parts. I love that stone.
Some more stickers and documentation. Oh geez, I'm just breaking stuff. Supposed to remember to put stuff back in the box, Bob. Not leave it on the counter. All right. We have Big Tree Tech SKR E3 version 2. We have...
If you break that company's name down into its parts, it really doesn't make sense, but I like it.
Yeah. Power cord. Here is a genuine Meanwell power supply. Okay, an LRS 150/24. We also have, which I think is just fantastic, all of the wiring stuff needed. There is some Bowden tube if you need it, zip ties, all your fans, heaters.
Ooh, I'm excited for that bag right there.
This is the cable kit.
Look at all that termination.
So remember how when we built the tool changer, and I'm sorry to everyone that I didn't do a follow-up. We'll get there. It's all ready to go. Okay, that is everything you need in one bag. Then we also have the Pi, the 5-volt buck converter, power supply inlet, fuse. Like, I have seen some people through the Twitters and other various locations make reference or comments regarding the cost of this machine for its size.
Okay.
And the kits being the kit is a rather expensive product. I'm going to say it. But what you're getting when you get one of these kits is just quality stuff. Like, I think if you were to try to source this all yourself, it'd be more expensive or time consuming at the very least. I mean, you've got genuine Meanwell parts. You've got Like, this isn't what people like to call a China kit. I mean, it comes from China, as does 99% of everything in the world.
Yeah,
but it's
just because it comes from China doesn't make it bad. This is a thought through, well manufactured, complete kit.
Mm-hmm. It is a quality kit made with quality components, and with that comes a quality price. Like, there is a price to pay for good stuff, and quite frankly, we like good stuff.
The phrase "you get what you pay for" is not always a bad thing.
No, there's. I think it's fantastic. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're gonna just kind of stream it over the next little while, like every night. Get a little bit more into it, and just go from there. I think we're also going to get a chance to show off the turntable.
Nice.
My new Allen keys, because quite frankly, these are amazing. Wear us. And yeah, this is the fact that all the hardware fits in this teeny tiny little box is just crazy. Crazy. Like, this bag is just all the hardware.
Yeah, well, jump on in.
Yeah. One thing I forgot is that it does come with the threaded insert tool. And one thing I forgot is...
Somebody just explained that to me as well.
Where is my soldering iron?
So, okay, on the cost thing, before we run too far away.
Yeah.
You've got a quality manufactured product. Everybody who's ever had the LDO stuff loves it.
Mm-hmm.
From a dude who's genuinely one of the nicest folks you've ever had contact with.
You're ever going to have contact with, quite frankly. Jason's one of the greatest people.
Jason's fantastic. And going through Sparta, so's Joseph.
Correct.
So you got good people providing service to their customers with good quality products. It's going to cost a couple of bucks.
And those good people will not just take your money and run. And that is to be said for all the LDO distributors. I believe Jason picks his people carefully, make sure that everybody is on board and on the right track.
So I saw that heat set insert tip for your soldering iron.
Yeah.
And we talked about it a little while ago, but we did it, privately.
We did.
That it confused me for a minute why there was a threaded shaft on it. And somebody explained it to me, and it makes perfect sense now.
Okay, what do you got?
It's for removing them from printed parts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things that, like, until you know. All right. So this not being the standard tip for this soldering iron, I want to be careful because I do not want to
break that ceramic core.
So I'm just kind of seating it on there. Now, it won't thread down as snug as it would before, like the factory one, but you can see the threading on there at the end. And that's what you were talking about, is if you're taking a heated insert, it sits on there, but for removing it, you can just give it a little twist.
Yeah, you can insert it into your part cold, twist it on, heat it up, and pull it out as it warms.
Or also, when it's in the part, you stick it in, give a twist, and pull. Like,
yeah, just one thread bite's all you need.
One thread bite is all you really need to get it to pop itself off. And if you want to avoid threading anything on,
you just put a couple of... Yeah.
They even give it with a couple on there, so then you can just throw it on. Now, I'm going to heat this up, and I think we're going to end up doing some heat inserts real quick.
Heat inserts.
Yeah. I'm also a bad person. I don't have a preferred temperature for doing heat inserts. I just do them.
I have a suggestion on temperature.
Whatever one works.
Hot enough to push it in, but not too hot.
Mm-hmm. Now then, I know for a fact there is something I need to find.
Uh-oh.
And I don't recall. There they are. Okay. Big change with the LDO kit is we are familiar with the little linear rails. I don't even remember last time, but we had to print these little inserts that we stuck little M2 nuts into, and then did all that.
Oh, are all those threaded?
These are just threaded posts.
That's so much better.
It's so easy. Like, boom, done. So that's awesome. Complementary Allen keys to add to the pile.
PL Layman says for your temperature on your iron there, 2000 degrees isn't quite hot enough, but 220 works.
Oh, good. All right. I feel like we are ready to get started. It does talk about some heat set inserts, so we're going to just toss a couple of those in there that need to be done. I'm sorry. I neglected something. The frame. Does
the frame come in pretty colors?
It does. Look at that. I don't know where our friend Thanos is, but he loves this orange.
It is a good orange.
And this orange with the ivory, man, that looks good. Oh, yeah. I've spent a lot of time talking about the frame and the colors and picking them all out. If you follow me on Twitter, which you should, you'll see that I've shared those pictures already a few times about what we're going to be doing with them. Color choices, palettes, lots of good things. And I'm going to do my best to keep as much of this in view on this little mat as I can.
Well, that's why it's a small printer, right?
It's so much easier than building the tool changer. The tool changer, which, by the way, has just been fantastic. Absolutely love that thing. There's threaded inserts, some square nuts. A few little baggies of goodness. All right. Now, one thing that the manual, I am currently on page 13, just getting started. Is it talks about putting the link from the drag chain on there now, because you won't be able to get to it later.
Probably a good idea.
So we're just going to pop that off of there. And we'll put the rest back away. Like, I remember this is bringing back memories of building the other one with Chris, and just all the teeny tiny itty bitty parts. Like,
Well, hopefully this one's easier.
I think it might be. Viking used his spork, he says.
Sport Club.
That's great. All right.
So, you know I have mixed opinions on the Vorons, right?
Yeah.
I'm reading through this guide following along with you. And love them or hate them, whatever you think of them. Looking at this 13th page that you're working on, right in the corner, you need to use heat sets. If you're not familiar with using them, here's a guide. That's helpful.
It is. And you know, I think a lot of the issues that come about from the Voron crew are perhaps maybe just because of, let's say, a few bad apples.
Well, and there's good and bad in every crowd.
There's good and bad in every crowd, and we know too that sometimes the loudest voices
Are the ones you should listen to the least.
Yeah, that is true.
Jordan,
Yeah.
say hi to Paul.
Hey, it's Paul from Polymate3D. That's great. Yeah, how many do we have? A few people watching? Is that?
That's a fair question. Looks like 11.
Hey, that's awesome. I don't expect much. I don't do YouTube often enough. I really should do it more. So
Yeah, and it's right around the holidays. We got big streams coming up later.
Oh yeah.
We're right at supper time, depending on what time zone you're in.
So for anybody, which I can't imagine who it would be, who doesn't know, Joel Telling, the 3D printing nerd himself, is doing a give a big way stream, big giveaway stream in English, as he does every year at this time. And one of the pinnacle sponsors of that is our friend Jason from LDO. One of the items you could win is this kit.
That's awesome.
Paul, I don't want to see such blasphemy in the chat, please.
Uh-oh. Oh. There's no such thing as enough.
Enough is the current number you have plus n.
And n is the variable between the number you have and the number before your wife murders you.
Correct. So,
And there's my wife saying there's never enough.
That's right. And that's why we love Renee.
That and she brought us cookies.
She brought you cookies. Remember that for next time. All right.
After the Joel stream, in a few hours after, like sometime around 6 a.m. tomorrow morning for me, 9 a.m. for you, there's also breaks and make.
There is a Joe stream. Yeah. Well, it's that time of year, right? Like
everybody's going to be out there.
Yeah. There is also a key member of the 3D printing community passed away at the end of November.
Correct.
Sanjay Mortimer from E3D. And it's heartbreaking and devastating news for the whole community as a whole. And the bigger channels, and all of us really, we'd like to do something to honor him in some capacity. And so you're probably seeing a lot of your major channels at this point giving viewership revenue from these streams and super chats and stuff back to a charity that has been decided upon.
Yeah, what we've got is I know Joe, I know Tom, Chris's Basement. I don't recall all of them that are doing it, but a lot of them are doing their annual streams for Christmas and giving those revenues in. And for a lot of them, Dave is matching those contributions.
Right. And Dave is the owner operator of Printed Solid.
One of our favorite crack dealers, crack being filament.
Yeah. The guy who just magically wants to make me spend all my money I don't have. So I'm just looking right now for the right extrusion to get started with here, as there is a few of them.
Well, while you're grabbing the right one, grab the left one too.
I'll see what I can do.
I love the individual wrapping of the extrusions for protection, but it can be a bit much for identification.
Yeah. So what I like to do is take my Sharpie and put a dot where the holes are. So now I know that this one has holes there and there.
That's helpful.
Oh, this might be one of the ones we need. It is. Don't need to mark that one.
I think I have a noisy train operator.
Magnet and metal sellers take all of Paul's money. You don't say.
Well, that makes sense with Paul making the 3D printable speakers.
Yeah. All right, we're going to kind of deal with those as we go, quite frankly. I want to build. I want to go. I'm ready. Put me in, coach.
I wonder, Paul, if you've talked to Jason at LDO. That could be a helpful match.
I think if there's somebody somewhere manufacturing something relating in some capacity to what we do in 3D printing and electronics, you need to just talk to Jason. I don't even. At the very least, just to say hi. Did I see that Dennis popped back?
Dennis did pop back for a little bit.
Oh, yay. I'm not looking at the chat, guys. I'm sorry. Bob's my chat monitor.
Uh-oh. Now we're in trouble.
Uh-oh.
Bob's got a monitor chat?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. You didn't think you had a job around here.
Dang it.
All right.
Mind
Hey!
the whole position.
Steven, Lightspeed showed up. Good times. I like that he's got the little stoppers in there now,
That's nice.
so they won't come flying off. So I think that's fantastic right there. A couple of those, couple of this. And it's asking for our M2 by 6. There may not be a lot of screws, but they are teeny tiny itty bitty ones. Holy jumping.
They really are.
M2x6 button head screws. Oh, those are M2x6 flathead screws. Oh my.
And you got to get your
M2x6 button head screws.
your guide for aligning.
Hey, guess what? I printed that.
I would hope so.
Pardon me. Okay, done.
Fantastic.
I, of course, printed them in elegant teal.
Oh, look at that.
Because that's what you do. When you have the elegant teal, you use the elegant teal. All right. Every other, mind the access hole position, and 38 millimeters from the end. Okay.
Wow, that step kind of bridges a couple of pages.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump ahead a little and read what it was saying.
Good thing you did.
Is the view good? Do we need to be closer, further?
I think closer and your hands will be in the way. I think we're in a good spot.
We're at a good spot? Okay. I am really hoping that this is the right... Yes, it is. One thing I do enjoy about this little rail thing here is that this metal rod, every other is all that there is.
Yeah. So it kind of fills in the blanks of where you want to put it.
You just can't put it there. There's no screw hole. Although they did it my favorite way, both ends and every other, which means
Yeah, you get towards the middle and you've got
2.
Yeah.
But what that also means is that you are supported edge to edge, which is fantastic. We're going to put that on there, put that on there, grab a trusty ruler, and let's put it.
Looks like a handy little ruler.
.38 from the end.
I would probably have to set an adjustment on a set of calipers to do that.
Well, unfortunately, my day-to-day calipers are, how do you want to say it? Poop. I really need to get a new set. So I'm just putting this on here. It's binding up just a hair, so we're just going to back everything off.
Binding's not good.
No, these are the kind of fiddly steps that if you get it right now, You don't have to deal with it later. Okay, so now those are moving a lot smoother on there. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's better.
So
Better.
cross thread promotion.
Cross thread promotion.
Correct. Paul's in the chat. Paul's the guy behind the 3D printed speakers.
Yeah, he is. I've been wanting to make a set of those.
Paul has files up on Prusa printers. He has a Patreon, and he puts out a ton of updates on the Twitters.
And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Paul, please correct me if I'm mistaken, though. I believe I saw him put out a kit for like education purposes recently.
I saw that recently, yes. So he's doing a lot of cool shit, and people need to be following him.
That's right.
Also, you have a surprise visitor.
I have a surprise visitor, Mr. Joseph Tam. Mr. Sparta himself. Okay. I have now just put the rail on there, and it is not a 0.5 millimeter too short.
So when we talk about Paul, we're talking about the
is.
Polymate 3D. So look him up everywhere.
Yeah. But this t-shirt is a 0.5 millimeter too small. But it also fits like a glove, and it's just delightful. Sparta3D merch is coming to a store near you at some point. I don't know when, but it'll be great.
Think we can get it up on the website?
You think we can beat them up enough to make it happen? Sorry, you didn't want to make merch, Joe. It's happening now. This metal thing, it's such a dream.
Yeah, the carrier.
Yeah,
I guess it's not really a carrier, is it?
Let's call it a carrier. We'll call it a pigeon.
Call it a pigeon. Just don't call it late for supper.
Mm-hmm. Those two screws decided they were friends and stuck together.
It's been known to happen.
Okay. Once again, 38.
Looks like there's 4 rails on this.
So it has a double Z rail, which is what we're putting on right now.
And then it would have the rails for the other motion. Got it.
And then it'll have X and Y.
I believe what you're working on now is the Y rails.
I am working on the steps they tell me to work on. I like doing this kind of blindfolded.
I'm just going by the little tag on the page. It says Y rails.
Oh. Why?
Rails.
Now, these little rail spacers, use them. Don't think you can just eyeball this and it'll be good. Like,
I think it's too small for that.
This printer is designed by some people who have really constrained it in some positive and some negative ways. But it's built to work at a high rate of speed with a tight tolerance. It is, when this thing gets going, they can fly. A lot of the speed benchy videos you're probably seeing are some heavily modified V0s.
Duff wants to know if you lubed them.
I didn't lube them, Duff. I'm not a rail luber. I'm a bad person. I take care of that later. Because I don't like having my rails all gooey while I'm working on them. Right. Preventing mishaps. Oh, preventing mishaps. Let's try preventing mishaps.
We've heard of first world problems. Is this GUI rail problems?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
All right. So it says to take a couple of these guys. Now, this is an area that until you've built one of these printers or worked with the Voron manual, there are things that are not directly spelled out.
I have questions.
Okay.
What holds in those parts that you're working on right now?
That's where I'm going with my convoluted statement here. Is it doesn't expressly notify you that you need to use some screws, nuts,
Ahar.
and 3 nuts. So in the 1515 channel, funny enough, M3 nuts are like T nuts. So you
Kind of makes sense.
Put that in like that. And this screwdriver kit that I'm using right now, I wish I had a sponsored version of it. It's just some RC hobby screwdrivers that I picked up, but they have a really nice
handle
and square end on them.
Oh, nice.
I have the ball-headed ones, and those are fantastic. And I have these new Wera ones, and they're double fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But there is just something nice about having a driver that just works.
I have found that some of the best tools to find for the 3D printing hobby come from the radio-controlled hobby.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of crossover in the hardware.
All right. I need C extrusions now. There is 4 of these C extrusions. Let's see about finding the C.
So, if somebody was building this kit on their own, what do you think about opening that frame kit, sitting down with the guide, and marking, labeling them?
Yeah, I get it. They're doing what I should have done before the stream, Bob. I understand. Yes. So what I'm doing right now is I'm literally just putting the label on it. Sitting down with it before is by far the best solution. I think any printer you're going to build, regardless of its complexity, detail, or anything, you should, if you've never done it, just read through it. Read through the manual once.
Absolutely. Here's another thought.
Twice.
LDO did such a good job labeling everything in the hardware kit. Maybe they could throw a sticker on those parts too.
Yeah, that's an option in the future.
Something to think about. Paul wants to know, do we feel that linear rods, rails, V-wheels all have a place in the 3D printer still?
Everything still has a place in different respects. It all depends on what you're building, how you're building it, what your use case is.
I think the motion system that ends up winning hasn't been shown yet.
Yeah, the one that will conquer all, we don't know about yet. It's just not a thing. The V-reel rollers
seems to be good enough for a lot of printers.
They work. They're not the best thing on earth. They're not the worst thing on earth. We're seeing too, like MK3s are still being made to this day, and those have
linear bearings and rods.
Linear bearings and rods, right? Sorry, I took the kids Christmas shopping today, and my brain is a little tired now.
Oh, public with children's.
Well, this is the first year that we have done this, but we said to them, do you want to get your brother and by extension sister your own present, or do you want us to get them for you and just you can put your name on it?
Yeah, they're at that age where that's a thing.
Yeah. And they said, no, we want to do it. And so I said, okay, well, what I'll do then is I will take each of you out one by one, and we will sort it out. All right. Back to the installation here. C Extrusions, page 17, Z rails. Center them with the holes facing up. 33. And here's page 18, Bob. It calls out what you were talking about. Where's the nut? Where is the nut?
He's building a printer.
Quiet you. One thing I know as well from having seen other people build these versus the original V0 is they did a better job of the things that I had issues with when it came to let's put the printer together and then take half of it apart to square it up.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
You mentioned it a little bit earlier, but Dennis wasn't here. You want to show him the color combo?
Oh, you want to lay it on him like that?
I really do.
That is going to be the color combo. Elegant teal, orange frame, ivory white sparkle. When I throw the parts around the room.
That lives there now.
That lives there now, except we need it. We need it. Oh, we need it. Okay.
So the thing with the linear rails versus the rods and bearings, the rods and bearings have a sleeker appearance because the linear rails carriage is much larger, and it has all of those screws for attaching it and support and keeping it aligned.
Yes.
So Dennis says, I don't know why, but the linear rods look sexier than the rails. Well, it's the industrial look versus sleek.
Yeah, and there is a lot to be said for ease of installation, ease of maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
All these things need to be taken into consideration. These are M3. Oh, what? M2 by
M3.
6.
No, that's that one.
How did I lose the bag?
You just had it
I just had it.
for the other rails.
It's off. I put it on the other side. Yet again, those really awesome little metal carriers come into play here. Now, this starkingly orange mat that I'm using, some people might recognize it. Most of the people who are in the chat should recognize it because currently we've got some fans of the 3D printing watching, but these videos get watched days and months and years over and all that. This is a Wham Bam slap mat. This is actually the Mega slap mat. For comparison, the normal size one is yay big. These were originally conceived as an idea to go, and they're still used for that, to go under your resin 3D printers. Resin is messy, resin is toxic, resin needs to be cleaned up. These help you keep it neat and organized. But they are fantastic for building printers. I don't know if you can tell, but the screwdriver wants to roll away. Not anymore, it doesn't.
That's handy.
Okay, too much.
Too much.
Tempting the face. It's too much. But it's a silicone mat. It's very rigid and super handy for building printers on, I found, because things don't slip and slide all over the place. I don't have to worry about scuffing up my beautiful LDO rails because I do not want to scratch
the
these.
silicone adds some padding.
Yeah.
Also some bounce if you really want to make the screws disappear into Narnia.
If you want them to go right through the door to Narnia, yeah. But when you drop the rail or a tool or something, you're less likely to cause the problems. One of the things I do remember from the last time we did this is they don't have you put the feet of this printer on for a good while. And this will
so
help.
sliding it around on the desk, if you've got a rough surface or something like that, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah. Now, when building printers, a firm surface is the best. So there will be a point where I do square this up on the table itself, which is made out of 1/2 inch MDF with more 1/2 inch MDF underneath of it and very firm. I do not have a granite piece that I work on. That is, generally speaking, the preferred method is a granite slab to work on. So Daneth is, I think, keeping time here. Is that what I saw?
He is. He's keeping up on the we mentioned things and he puts links.
Oh, that Daneth.
He's such a good kid.
Good kid.
And now he's reminding us that we've got an hour to go before the thing.
The thing. Hey, I just watched Jordan building a V0 kit. I want to build it along with him, so I'm going to get one from LDO.
Mm-hmm.
And now, if I'm not mistaken, our friend Dave at the Solid of Printed People, I believe he is actually out of stock currently on his V0 kits.
I don't think so.
May not have been currently. It was a little bit ago.
It was a little bit ago, but I think he got a shipment in because I was looking earlier today and it was a thing that exists. However, there's another guy that has them in stock.
Well, that's where I was leading into this. Is I know, because I checked before the stream, that Sparta has them in stock. All the frame colors except for black, I believe it says, are available. Even if the frame choice you'd like says out of stock on the order sheet for the kit, just send an email with the, and they can get it sorted out, because the frames are sold on their own.
So better than that, it's great that he's got them. You know what? It's even better that he actually, ships them everywhere.
Everywhere. We just had a shipment of filament from Sparta go to our buddy Viking in Norway. We have.
It's good. It's a good thing that the filament comes. It's in a cardboard box, sure, but it's in a plastic bag because he pulled the spools out and they're the clear spools. So he was looking at the filaments, and I think he might have gotten a little bit messy.
It is, yeah, it happens. It does happen. I also, those bags, you got to be careful popping a bag open, because they'll take your finger off if you're using your finger. They're
a thick bag, are they?
They're a thick bag. They mean it.
And Thaneth is correct to point out, if you're not comfortable with the printing of the parts, there is a service available to do so for you.
There is a service available to do so. Now, the Voron community has a service they like to call PIF. Print it for you, I believe is the acronym, is how it breaks down.
Print it forward, I think, because there's
or
no
print
Y
it
on
forward. Yes, sorry, print it forward.
But we like the Sparta. We like the Spiffy.
And so Sparta, we made Spiffy. And Spiffy is Sparta printed for you.
Plastic parts.
I just had the part I needed, and it rolled, and it's not gone to Narnia, but it's in the box of Narnia.
It didn't go to Narnia, but it's on the threshold.
Right. It's in the box still, but somehow, oh, there it is. It like shifted way back and over. I don't understand. I don't get it.
But all that was to say, if you don't want to print ABS yourself and don't want to print the parts, or
can't
you just
print ABS.
really want high quality parts,
man, these guys, they are like, they're killing themselves on some of these parts.
I think they go too far, but that just means better quality parts.
These parts are like, they're beautiful. Duff making the good point. The PIF Q for Voron is to get functional parts only. The goal is to help you get your printer up and running. Spiffy, which should mention is a paid service, but it's faster than PIF, is to get you your printer parts. So that is all of it. The accent, the thing, and you get to have it printed in these beautiful Sparta sparkles, if that's what you're after. If that's how you like to roll. And I do like to roll that way. Now I have a V0 kit, which was part of the beta grouping that LDO put forth. And then things changed just before that kit was going to become available, so new kit had to become available. And I'm actually really considering swapping it out for this V0.1 kit.
Really?
I like the direct drive extruder. It looks good.
I wonder, because I don't know. I didn't look. I wonder what the upgrade path looks like.
There's, I think, as much or as little upgrade as you want to do. Like, realistically, what I would need to do to make it to the change to the upgrade is just change the tool head.
Okay.
The bigger motors, my heated bed works. I don't need to change that. The lead screw, everything, all that motion system stuff works. So if I just wanted to take that one step on the upgrade path, it's available to me. Okay.
All he made is heading out because he's in the Europe zones and it's late there.
Well, good night. Oh, put the rolling item on the way. Thanks, Paul.
That was while we were talking about the thing that rolled off into the box.
Either way, it all applies.
Yeah,
it all applies. Good. And one thing I do like about this kit is these are all the same piece. There's no special part you need to find. It's just these pieces. And these printed parts. I'm just gonna
AB motors.
Make a little bit of
So
room here.
I think Joseph is responding to our what's the upgrade path for the Zero.
Yes.
AB motors, the new Z integrated stepper, and the print head stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to rip it all apart just to do the integrated stepper instead of the offset one that's there now. I mean, if it makes a huge difference, it's worth it. M3 by 12. I don't know. It's just one of those things, right? You gotta.
Well, we do like our direct drives.
I am partial to the direct drives, yes.
I don't see anything here that shows you alignment for those holes.
So these holes go through a printed part.
No, the
up and down holes. Yeah, the up and down holes matter on the back one.
A couple pages later.
They don't. These through holes only matter on the back one.
Okay.
But just to keep it consistent, I'll put them all
Same.
up and down. Or you know what? Let's do them all left to right. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm really hoping I don't have to tap any of these.
We've run into that a couple of times, haven't we?
Yeah, it's manufacturing, man. It's just what it is. But
yep,
these are such small extrusions. That it would be a woeful pain. Okay.
Was it the Joker V0 that we had to do that with?
It was the switch wire. I had to do it. Had to do that a couple times. What are you printing on the MMU?
Nutcrackers.
Nutcrackers.
From our buddy. 3.5 day print.
Oh, okay. So this step here on page 19 is calling out using an M3 by 8 button head screw into that bottom hole. It is not calling out that there is a nut you need to include, add into there.
Something's got to hold it.
Yeah. I get that they can't. It's quite cumbersome to show every nut and stuff. But on some of these ones,
I think
a color dot or an indicator of.
Well, I don't think you'd even have to go that far. I think where they say M3x8 BHCS, they could say plus N.
Right. Big thing with these screwdriver heads is you can get on them if you need to. Don't do it. It's a trap.
Went all Akbar on us.
Okay. Now it's saying to preload I don't know that I'm going to put some of these nuts in yet because
Well, they're calling for you to throw in some screws, so you might want to.
well, these screws are on the inside of the frame member. So
Yeah.
right now I'm tightening.
They're not talking about that
through.
part.
Well, when it gets to that next part, it's this page that I'm on right now, 20.
Yeah.
While these are free floating in my hand,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah. The extra nuts they want you to put in are on page 21.
Yeah.
That's a different part.
See, right now they've gone, okay, preload some nuts into this piece.
I don't think they're talking about that piece.
Yeah. Page 20?
No, 21.
I know, but page 20 it says preload some nuts. But I'm not going to preload nuts into this thing just to set it aside for the nuts to fall out.
I think we've got different instructions. I just opened mine up. You're done with page 20 now.
I'm done with page 20. See, it's maybe they've updated it, and it does say to use some preloaded M3 nuts. But then we're on to page 21, which is the Z-axis, and it's calling out some nuts and stuff.
I think that your PDF might be screwed up because this looks much cleaner on what I'm seeing.
Huh. Well, I did just download it.
You got your B extrusions, and that's where you're going to preload your nuts.
Oh, this is talking about all kinds of things.
Read the next 4 pages before continuing. And yeah, it is a tiny printer.
It's very tiny.
PL Amon says either that it's a tiny printer or you have huge hands.
It's a tiny printer. Oh, wow. There's a lot of little... Okay. I'm just going to double check that I have the... I'm just going to make sure I have the latest manual. I'm just going to go to the... Voron page.
Design.com.
Yeah. And I'm just going to download the latest manual, which looks like the one I'm currently using.
So they do have version dates on it. It looks like it was updated last in June.
13th.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. The one I was using was updated in April 22nd.
Okay. Let's
Let me just go back, make sure I didn't miss it.
well, I've been following along, and so far, I think you're good.
Okay. I see. Yeah, it was very convoluted on this page 20.
Mm-hmm.
It was calling out lots of things to add in, nuts and screws and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
this is why you have a friend.
This is why we have a Bob.
Hmm. Okay. So it looks like now
Our B is going to go on the top and bottom of those Z's that we just did.
B extrusions, and B extrusions are.
We need 2 of them.
Oh wow, they changed all the letters. That's great. B extrusions are just bare with the threaded hole in the ends.
Yep.
Okay. That one. I'll double check that these have threaded holes. And it needs a M3 by 10. Now, if I'm not mistaken, LDO just taps all the extrusion ends.
It's probably easier.
It's
You just get a 15-15 jig and a tap on a drill and just go. Boom, 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 boom.
There is a certain thing to be said for mass production and planning.
Yep.
And this needs 1, 2, 3, 4
Each.
There's 4 of these M3 by 10,
And then M3 by 6s for the other 4.
and then M3 by 6s. And it looks like those I actually want to connect to the nuts.
Well, it looks like in one rail you've got 2 of them with nuts. In the other rail you've got 2 of them with nuts with 2 extra nuts in between.
Wow, that's a thing. M3 by 6s. M3 by 6s button head screws. Now, one thing I made that I just printed actually earlier that might come in handy here is LDO suggests, if you want, it's not necessary, but they suggest a model of some nut holders. Only they're stuck to the bed.
That's been known to happen.
Yep, moving on. So I need a couple of these in the middle. Okay, and then one of them said you get 2 more in between.
Yep. Because that's going to be your stepper mount.
PLA man is correct. This is a tiny pair.
Mm-hmm.
Tweezers. Tweezers are the friend. Tweezers, I'm pretty sure I got from Sparta3D when one of my orders.
Probably.
I don't like that nut. It looks like it just says kind of approximate them in the middle.
Yeah, I think we can deal with the exact alignment later.
Okay. All right, now insert 2 additional M3 nuts in the highlighted slot between the ones to affix the M3x6. Okay.
Just did that.
They will be used to attach the stepper mount in a later step. Read the next 4 pages before continuing. Okay. The question I have
is it the top or the bottom that the extra nuts go into?
Right.
I'm going to think the bottom because it said it's for the stepper.
Right. So I'm actually going to go a few pages ahead of that.
Make sure they didn't top mount that stepper.
It should go underneath.
It really should. You got to go a lot of pages to get to it, though.
Well, that's better than last time because that thing went in there early. Where is it?
There it is, page 64.
Wow. Good eye. 64. Okay, so yeah, the 2 screws go through on either side.
Looks like there's 2 from the bottom and 2 from the front.
Right, and you load the 2 from the bottom later on.
Yeah.
But the 2 from the front means that the rail that we're going to use for the bottom
of the Z
is the one that has 2.
Yeah.
Okay, now this step is calling to use a flat surface, so I'm
It's
apologizing.
Also, yeah.
Because they go here.
And now you're working on the bottom just out of frame.
Just out of frame, and I apologize about that. You know what? I'll do this. I will take and whoop.
Ah, perfect.
Now I know that this top rail is not getting affixed at this point.
No, but it's not far off.
I've got to put some nuts down the back channel.
Yeah.
What
I think you might want to do that before you put that top rail on.
I will. I just wanted to use it to support.
Yeah. Okay.
The back.
Grant joined us. And Thanos says we got a half an hour to go.
Thanks,
and that
Thanos.
He's running away.
Huh. That's going to be fun. These little guards are blocking my access a little.
I have a question.
Okay.
When you put those rails on, there was a specific spacing required, correct?
Yes.
which side does that spacing go on? And also looking at the assembly drawing, 2 of those guards shouldn't be there.
Weird. Okay. So that's the old versus new Manuel right there. It looks like, so that was the spacing I did. Okay, I'm just scrolling back here. Sorry about this. Hey, it's Peter.
Hi, Peter.
My favorite whammer.
What a time for him to pop in, right when his logo is front and center on your pad.
Right when his logo's right there. And we just talked about pulling parts out of the hot box. By the way, the V2 hot box, Bob, you got that one, didn't you?
Yeah, it's
You
in the
bought
box down here on the floor.
Pro tip for anybody watching: if you buy a Wham Bam hot box, they're fantastic. Do not go all Christmas Day wrapping paper on the box.
Oh no, you got to open that carefully.
Open the top carefully, and then when you're not using it, you slide it back in the box, and it fits behind a door perfectly.
It's better than that, because inside the box, the hot box comes in a bag.
The box in a bag in a box.
So you can bag it and slide the whole thing in one piece into the box. It works fantastically well.
And it's like, it's the greatest free storage box for a folding box you ever boxed.
It keeps the dog hair off of it.
Yeah, I have the V1.
Mm-hmm.
The V2 has those slots for the LED lights, which are fantastic. So there's like a ring loop for some LED lights, and these LED lights are
those.
Yeah.
I put both of them in the one box. They're handy. They're nice and small and USB powered.
They are. And they are big news on the hotbox coming soon.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. That means V3 for...
But I just got my V2.
Oh. I think I know what it is.
You do?
I think I do.
I'm going to have to bend your arm later to get you to tell me.
Yeah. Maybe no.
Oh.
Gotta let you stew.
It's such a mean game we play on each other.
Oh, it's fantastic. Much like Joseph, the play on words from Prusa of big news, small news, little news,
yeah,
comes into play. The hotbox is one of those things that, like, a lot of people are like, I can just put a cardboard box around it, or I can do this. You know what? Yeah, you could do a lot of things. Having an enclosure that you can fold up and pack away whenever you need to is fantastic.
Most of the time printing PLA, I don't need an enclosure.
No.
But when I need it.
But there is a size constraint with the current hotbox.
Sure.
That's all I'm going to say. I've said too much. You know too much, Bob. H extrusions. What are H extrusions? H extrusions are 2 holes on either. Oh, geez. They changed. Oh.
Looks like holes on the ends so that you can get to those blind screws.
See, and this is where LDO's kind of simplified it. They said holes on the ends so you can get to the blind screws. But they're threaded. That's the difference there. And if I'm not mistaken, these C ones are all that way.
Oh. That would make things easy.
Right. I think there's some room for improvement. One of the big things here is that the Voron developers are just some people who get together and do this. There is no official company involved with it. Good, bad, or indifferent. I don't really want to get into the geopolitical sphere of the Voron crew. And
no, but they're
any
just a
of
bunch
that.
of dudes putting this stuff together. So love them or
Right.
hate them.
Love them or hate
Cut them
them.
some slack.
Slack is required for all. I mean, if I didn't have any slack, oh man,
My pants wouldn't fit.
I need that slack, man. Oh my god.
Another surprise for you, Jordan.
Okay. You gonna finish that sentence or no?
Maybe.
Oh, okay, good. Thanks.
Geek Tech.
Mr. or Mrs.?
Label does not specify.
Gender neutral geek tech. What is up? Let's say.
If I was
Mr.
a betting man, yeah.
Actually, you know what? You know how we can win this one? Hello, Squishy.
And a visitor from the four-legged.
Yes.
See, when I say dog hair, I mean it.
Yeah, no, you got some dog hair. That's a thing. Okay, so I had to put some nuts in the back of this. I had to slide the top rail on. Then I had to put these extrusions on, and now I have a flat surface.
Did you put the nuts on the back side of those rails? I forgot to ask.
These ones, yes.
Yeah. Now you get to measure.
So I didn't tighten those very much because, you know, why tighten everything when you're about to loosen it all?
Mm-hmm.
So the first things first is we're just going to shimmy this back just a little.
First,
give us a flat surface. If you don't own a set of engineering squares, just get a set on Amazon. They are dirt cheap for what they are. They're invaluable in building, period. And so I'm going to start by just locking in.
Peter asked for the price of the whole kit. There's a link to it right there. And remember, when you look at that, that's Canadian dollars.
Correct.
Maple syrup monies.
Maple syrup monies, which means your crazy Florida money goes further. And because it's digital, we don't have to wash it first.
Also, because it's digital, you don't get the maple syrup smell, and that's kind of a letdown.
It is kind of a letdown, but it's okay. All right. Start by locking down one corner completely. And I apologize in advance for not showing everything, but sometimes you just gotta do it.
Sometimes you just gotta do it.
You know, wouldn't that be a funny thing to put in this printer?
Wouldn't it?
Hang on. Okay. Thread derailed. This is the size of the back of the printer.
Uh-huh.
This is a Duet 6HC. Could you imagine putting this in there.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oy, that is a thing. Wow. All right. Okay, one side locked and loaded. I really like this new page. Okay, this
Yeah.
new one that they've got here with the numbers, the measurements. One of the issues we had when we built this last time
Was getting all that right?
it wasn't in one location.
Oh.
So it wasn't a clear indicator that this was the numbers you needed to use. And so you kind of had to piece it together from a few different pages. She's not having any tonight, Bob.
Can you see we're busy here?
Well, just give her a cookie and send her on her way.
She doesn't have any more.
Oh, no.
Right?
Okay.
No, you can't have the gummy bears. Those are special printer gummy bears. You didn't build the printer. You don't get them.
Okay. It is saying now that from the inside edge of this rail to the inside edge of this needs to be 58 millimeters.
It does.
If by any random chance one of the developers of the Voron team is watching, printed spacer jig.
So, okay, but isn't the way you're currently doing it more accurate?
It is, but it would be nice for just getting it
close
in relation. Yeah.
And maybe accuracy isn't as important as it being the same. Uniformity, that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, there's trueness, right? So this one is now locked into orientation. It's in. Now we are dealing with 54 millimeters from
in between the two.
In between the two. So we're going to just get that there.
The guys are going back and forth on the in the chat about where to get their products from in the Canadian lands.
Oh, yeah.
Having a good time, all in good fun.
Good. Yeah, we don't have as many vendors as you guys do down in America land. We have some good ones, though. I think having one of these hard rulers should just be part of the kit.
Yeah. Back to being a fan of the calipers.
Yeah, I do love calipers. And I do love my check squares. Got to be careful when doing this that I don't scuff up my lovely orange frame, or else Daneth is going to ban me for life. And
oh, yeah, he'll murder you in your sleep for sure.
100% in my sleep when I'm not looking. Okay, so now we're going to double check that we have to go from the outside edge of this one to the inside edge of that one. And we are 127 millimeters, give or take a half millimeter.
That sounds like a thing. And now you can put in the stoppers.
Is that what's next?
That is what's next.
Well, first we crank these down like they owe us a little bit of money.
Go ahead and go all the way and crank them down like they owe you a lot of money.
No, I can't do that because then I'll strip them. Times are tough in the monkey cave. Where's my money? Who got my money? I am looking forward to the new year. I think there's going to be some great new products coming out next year.
I hope so. I hope that the supply chain eases up for everybody. That seems to be where all the troubles are.
Look at that. That's beautiful. Get my Slappy McMatty back in the little frame here. Okay.
And then you can add your Party McParterson.
Uh-huh. Now we are at this step. M2 by 8. I think this is going to be like nearing the last step for the night, which is great. What I like this time is that I'm probably not, I know, I'm not going to touch it this time. I shouldn't say probably. I'm not going to touch it this time. Last time I was so excited.
Well, it's been known to happen.
Oh, yeah.
You're an excitable guy.
M2 by 8. Wow.
Oh,
not...
Peter, yeah. Shipping and labor. Labor's the killer.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so keeping these at the bottom. This one is my back plane here.
Use the small access hole and long hex driver to fasten the hidden screws.
Wow. That is okay, that is quite the hidden hex hole. I don't know that my driver won't go through that hole. Okay.
And you got the M2 by 8s, right?
These are the M2 by 8 SHCS. Okay. We're going to have to do it this way. We're just going to put that on like that. I feel like this is a slight different step. Like they changed the way you put this on, I think, to alleviate some of the binding. If I'm not mistaken, you used to put these parts on this first, and then all of this onto there.
Okay.
Although with these hidden holes, I don't know that was possible. Maybe I'm mistaken.
Well, they could have redesigned the parts with that.
Could have. But I feel like it would alleviate some of the binding this way. Now it does say if you want, you can apply some thread locker. I'm not interested in doing that right. I don't print at breakneck speeds. Oh, more hidden holes. Hidden holes.
Duff says you don't need thread locker PTSD.
Oh, I had actually forgotten about that. Thanks, Duff. Those who didn't know this, in the process of building my tool changer, I used thread locker on all metal mating surfaces. Oh no. Okay, good. I used it on all metal to metal mating surfaces, and I'll never do it again. I learned that PETG is not a fan.
Oh, that's right.
of
Those tool heads.
thread locker.
Oof.
I have also learned that I think this one's only getting 3 screws.
Maybe the next one we do in PC.
Yeah, I think that ABS and thread locker also doesn't get along, so there's that.
There's that.
I think looking at the time,
Yep.
I could try adding this next step, but it's just going to take a few minutes.
I think we just call it here.
Yeah.
Give people a chance to,
get a hydration,
recuperate themselves.
Mm-hmm. Because coming up in 6 minutes on the YouTubes is some guy that some people might know. His name is Joel, John, Johnny, Jimmy,
Jim,
Joey,
Jeff,
Jahoof,
Geoff.
Joel Telling, the 3D printing nerd himself. Somebody will put a link in the chat. If this was Twitch, we could do a raid, or I don't know how that works, but yeah, I don't know how
Those
it works.
aren't things that we talk about.
I don't know how it works, but I'm thinking perhaps tomorrow evening, picking it up again for a couple more hours. I don't believe there's any pending streams or anything tomorrow evening to fight over or anything, and there's plenty of internet for everybody. There's no need to worry about that. But I think plug away again tomorrow, a couple hours, and see what we can come up with. Get something that is moving. But it's hard to get an appreciation up close, but this color combination is going to be...
Once we get more parts on there,
that's going to be something.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of pulling these. Uh-oh, I'm doing stuff. There it is. Okay. Putting it down, walking away from it. Thanks for everything tonight, guys. It was a fun stream hanging out. Glad we were able to chat and socialize and
have the fun.
Good. It's good. It's the season for socializing distantly. So, thanks again for everybody for watching. Check out Sparta3D.ca for anything you need 3D printing related. And otherwise, we will see you probably tomorrow, but I'll set up a stream and you'll get notified. Like, share, subscribe, lttstore.com. Good night.
Bye-bye.